All right. So, as you can see, I went ahead and forfeited the game. There's just way too many things going on, and this is obviously, to me, it's obviously a losing game. And I think it should be pretty obvious to anybody watching as well, as he now has 19 production spots for the U.S. right here. He's going to be outproducing whatever I can do with my 8, 10, 13. It's all the way back to here for me to even match the number of units being produced. So he's going to overpower here. He's already overpowering Africa and coming in here. And he snuck this transport by me. And so he's going to start taking Pacific Islands as well. So, I mean, the game was over before. I knew it was inevitable. But, it's been about a week this game's been over. Or actually probably about 9 days. And I've been waiting to do a good summary on it. And I just don't have time. As you guys can see, the clips have been coming out very slow lately. Too many games, too many things going on. So I'm going to try to do my quick summary about this game. Is really, we defended the KJF just fine. So this is, if y'all didn't see the first half of this match, it was a KJF. We defended it just fine. I built a little heavy on the subs, but I don't regret many of my decisions there. The biggest issue I had in the KJF part is it took me too long to recognize what he was doing up here in the north, and it took me a couple turns extra to clear out his fighter landing base here, and that landing base was threatening to reinforce here as well as defend the Pacific, so that if I built to try to make a Moscow rush, he could defend it and just pull back in the Pacific. So that was probably my biggest mistake, is not recognizing what was happening there soon enough and addressing it soon enough. That's really my only complaint that I remember. It's been a long time now on the KJF portion of it, and then when it switched to a KGF, as I said right out of the bat, I needed to play the long game. I should have played the long game. I felt like I had an advantage if I played the long game, but I went for that Moscow shot, got it down to he had no units left. It was really the edge of the game. If I had won Moscow then, we would have had a much better situation. But we didn't, and then he built, and then we did everything we could to come back to this. And, DMZ Gaming hit it, I don't even remember, a few rounds ago. He noted I still, even though I was, quote, playing the long game, I was still trying to speed it up by building all these tanks to try to get a shot on Moscow instead of, playing the long game, where Mray, he just patiently played the long game the whole way, and that's what happens when you play conservative. I don't want to say conservative because he didn't play conservative, because you don't have 50 fighters and bombers on the game if you play conservative, but if you play steady and smart and watch your supply lines and your economics, you're gonna win most games. And Mray just consistent. He just played consistent through the whole thing. He didn't panic and just played consistent. Me, I exposed my weakness. You get me to round 15, 16, 17, I get impatient, and I'm going to try for a 60% shot, just like I did against Toadstone and lost, and just like I did against Mray and lost. But since I lost those two, that means I'm ready to win 3 in a row. So if you decide to go for it on me, the game owes me that next 3. So, because that's how statistics work. Anyways, so this game wrapped up. It was a great game. I do plan on making a channel in my YouTube that I'm going to do greatest hits. This game, the Toadstone game, the Ronald game, those are 3 games I know I'm definitely going to put in there. If you got suggestions of any of my past games that should go in the greatest hits channel, let me know. I'm going to start moving some over there for people that come in, that just join and don't want to get them overwhelmed with all the games I have loaded in the YouTube channel. Well, the greatest hits, favorite hits, however you want to call it, and this will definitely be one of those games in there. So congrats to Mray. He played great. As far as the league goes, I had to start rushing a whole bunch of games, and I really bombed. I blundered 2 games against Matt Stink. As it is, if I win my last 2 games, I could finish 500 and finish right in smack in the middle of the league, which actually, if I finish third, I think I technically would move up to generals, but I'm going to have to step out of league after this. It just became too much of a time thing. I mean, even still, I've got quite a few games going that I'd like to not have going. So after this, I am going to be switching over to the club game, which is what we got going down here. These two games are round 1 of the season 2 of the club, with my team game and my solo game. So I'm going to start switching over to recording those. These are my last 2 league games going. Again, we got another game with Mray. This is my revenge KJF. He went Battleship to the Atlantic to C-Zone 13. So, of course, I did C-Zone 37 with the Destroyer coming back. I took a shot on 61, a pretty risky shot on 61, but I was willing to lose all my UK Navy to the US hands up. I got really good dice there. And so this is what the game's looking like. He now has Moscow circled. He took my Vologda factory style. But yeah, so he now has Moscow surrounded here. However, he is a little bit thin on troops. I think when these guys make it, he'll come into what, G10, G11. He might have a shot, but I've got fighter pump going here. I've got 3, 5 fighters there ready to fly in, and I've still got like 3 or 4 units advantage here, so feeling pretty good. India at one point, I was ready to give him India. He had a stack here. I had 0 units in India, and I just blocked him with, Persia a couple times. Now I've solidified this a little bit, and we'll be continuing to battle this. Meanwhile, I've established my Africa train starting up, so even here, I'm feeling pretty good. We did have a huge battle in C-Zone 5 just 2 turns ago for Germany. I had my whole fleet and my 2 transports in there. He took all his bombers and his fighters, and he had a whole bunch of German air, and he attacked just like I attacked his UK fleet with my German air, and ended up for the worse for it. He did too. He came out with just 1 fighter surviving. He built a fighter this turn, I believe. And so that's where he ended up. So, feeling pretty good. Let's see. Mid-round here, we're even, but UK and US still has to go, and Japan versus Japan, so I'm going to definitely get more than Japan's going to get. And we got their income cut down and kind of controlled on their income. US is out producing Axis, or Germany, so feeling pretty good in this game. The other game, I might do a video or 2 just checking in on these games, just because these league games are awesome games. If you got the time, league is 100% worth it. You get right into just competitive games. There's people that are just right in your ranking. So I'm Axis in this game. I've had a lot of... I feel like there's been several times I've had bad dice versus GUIs in both our games. But in any case, I'm trying this different strategy lately. I've been building a lot of Japan tanks and getting the planes up here and using the tanks and planes to help secure on up into Karelia and Berlin, and then eventually we'll loop back down around to getting Kaza going. So we got this huge stack. Got some big old stacks going on up here, as you can see. I gotta be careful not to get my Japan unit stuck there. But here you can see where we're sitting at. Let's see, Japan and US still have to go. I haven't looked at this in forever. I have no idea. So Allies got a 18 power advantage. US and Japan about the same income, so maybe I get a point or 2 back, so 17, 16 point advantage. We're running 86, which is not bad for Axis. I'd like to see that get up just a little bit more. So this is a pretty evenly looking match game. But I'm feeling pretty good. I just shifted off. I had the Northwest stack because I've been able to shift just huge chunks of German men to plug him up here, since I did get him out of the med, which is one of my goals for Axis, is to get people out of the med as quickly as possible. I don't even think he ever even made it into the med training. I've had some bad luck, as you can see. I missed taking France last time, which is just frustrating, and I've lost fighters the last couple times. So I've only got 2 German fighters, and I've lost like 3 German fighters to just silly, stupid battles at dice. Anyways, let's not get into the dice argument. I know better than that. So these are the games we got going, and maybe we'll check in on these at different times and let you know how they're going. If I win these 2, I'll go 500, and I'll be satisfied with that, because I really blew 3 games at least just from Russian and the Mray game. If I'd taken my time, played the long game, I'm sure I would have done better. So there we go. Like I said, I'm probably going to be switching over to the club games. Maybe I'll do I might start with club round 2 and just do some updates on these 2 league games for the rest of August, and then we'll go from there.